For lawyers, I think that's trust is quite a nebulous concept that we don't always really focus on very much. We're more about providing certainty, but I think what I've learned is that collaboration, true collaboration, is very much based on trust.
Has it been another busy day?
Very busy day today, very busy indeed. And I suppose that kind of brings us onto the ventilator, which has been amazing. I mean, I think that we were literally approached by a company called the Technology Partnership, which is a UK PLC that helps design medical equipment. And they said, look, we've got the basic design for a ventilator. We need your help to engineer it, to manufacture it. And do you think you can do it? And we said, well, it's quite a challenge, but it's a great cause. Let's try and do it. And since then, we've literally had engineers working day and night and weekends and any time that you care to think of.
Could you tell me about the COVID-19 pandemic and how it's affected Dyson operations and your role as General Counsel?
I've been at Dyson now for, over 20 years. And really when COVID-19 was breaking, in early January, it seems a long time ago now, but in early January, we had people in Wuhan and we had people traveling in and out of Wuhan. And we had operations that were immediately affected. So we began to feel the effects of this actually quite early.
I guess having been affected by the COVID-19 virus right at the beginning of the outbreak, what did you and your team do to protect other jurisdictions as you saw the virus spreading?
I mean, obviously, we didn't know how far it was going to spread, and we were learning like everybody else. But I think some of the tactics that we learned in dealing with it early were very, very useful to us in terms of then adapting ways of working and support mechanisms in other parts of the world. It also meant that we were very aware that, in countries where this disease arrived, you would then have to react rapidly to changing circumstances in terms of law and regulation. So in China, Korea, Japan, we're very used to seeing, almost daily changes to regulation. And so we were quickly able to set up a network which heavily involved my legal team around the world to monitor those regulations and to provide a one-stop shop for the business. The Ventilator Project has been sort of front and centre now for a while, and given the emergency that everybody is facing, the work didn't stop over the weekend, and it's been an awe-inspiring effort. I mean, it really has. I guess I've seen a lot of impressive things in my time here at Dyson, but this has been one of the most impressive, and it's been good to play just a small part in that, in dealing with some of the intellectual property issues and the contractual issues with government and the Cabinet Office. So it's been fantastic.
Could you share some of the legal challenges that have arisen as a result of the incredible work with the ventilators?
Well, of course, I mean, I think we're a domestic appliance company, and although technology-wise, a lot of the things we do play well into a ventilator. I mean, a ventilator moves air around, and we really know what we're doing when it comes to moving air around, if you think about all of the products that we make. But of course, because this is a medical device, you're subject to a whole new raft of regulation, and rightly so. And you've got to try and assimilate all of that very, very quickly. You've got to try and negotiate a little bit with government about the things that are absolutely essential and the things that we can maybe put to one side in an emergency like this. And you've got to do all of the usual stuff, get all of the relevant rights as concerned intellectual property sorted out, make sure the relevant licenses are in place. I think it's drawn on some traditional legal skills. It's involved us in acquiring some new skills in some new areas, but it's been kind of doing it literally at 100 miles an hour. And I suppose one of my reflections on the whole thing is that it's amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it.